Let's execute an immediate high-gear tactical vector shift away from sub-zero mountain wilderness tracks and localized law enforcement ballistics, and drop directly into the sterile, calculation-heavy tracking grids of top-secret government biodefense protocols, interstellar containment emergencies, and high-frequency epidemiological crisis arrays. We are crossing the threshold directly into the hyper-monitored subterranean blast sectors and cleanroom chambers of the Nevada desert with the ANDROMEDA strain, the exceptional, rapid-pulsing hard science fiction thriller by the absolute undisputed sovereign of high-stakes technothriller tradecraft, Michael Crichton. This high-stakes operational deployment delivers a thrilling look at a catastrophic crossroads where an unclassified extraterrestrial biological anomaly, an automated self-destruct detonation mechanism, and the absolute defense of global biosphere survival metrics collide at terminal velocity. Let's lay out the strategic narrative grid. If you are a fan of high-octane, procedurally intense scientific thrillers where a fierce, hyper-focused team of elite academic specialists must navigate an absolute maze of military secrecy, automated decontamination sequences, and lethal microscopic mutations while running a blind containment loop inside a sealed Tier 5 laboratory bunker, where an analytical mind uses deep genetic profiling, computer-automated diagnostic tracking, and absolute intellectual stamina to outmaneuver an invisible airborne pathogen, and where the author utilizes an incandescent scientists racing a nuclear countdown to stop an extinction-level infection diagnostic routine to test our hero's structural survival perimeters, this book is engineered to lock you in. Crichton completely dominates the hard science procedural noir dynamic, capturing the heart-racing intellectual momentum, claustrophobic research facility isolation, and heavy psychological depth popularized by genre vargs like Andy Weir, Blake Crouch, Richard Preston, and Douglas Preston and Lincoln Child, while treating high-level microbiology logistics, computer-automated facility operations, and protective biosafety defense grids with absolute technical mastery. The narrative tracking grid zeroes in on Project Wildfire, a masterfully calculated alignment of 4 elite scientific minds operating under a strict calculation-heavy diagnostic protocol. Our primary anchor is Dr. Jeremy Stone, a brilliant, hyper-focused Nobel-winning biologist whose daily workspace is an intricate matrix of electronic isolation barriers, automated mass spectrometers, and sterile surgical bays buried 5 stories beneath the desert floor. His internal defense mechanisms are locked down tight behind a layer of absolute scientific detachment, his entire analytical focus strictly consumed by monitoring cellular mutation data, parsing alien amino acid structures, and shielding the surface population from being entirely deleted by a ruthless biological variable. The spark ignites when his active scanning perimeter registers an unexpected, devastating structural anomaly. A military recovery satellite lands in Piedmont, Arizona, and instantly kills every civilian asset in the area through an instantaneous, unexplained blood clotting mechanism. The official diagnostic metrics of national biosecurity flatline instantly. As the military launches an aggressive quarantine sequence around the hot zone, the Wildfire team retreats down their secure elevator shafts into the multi-layered defense canopy of their hidden bunker. There they discover that the alien payload, codenamed Andromeda, is a crystalline, unmapped lifeform that utilizes an unconventional energy conversion array to replicate without DNA, mutating dynamically with every exposure to standard decontamination protocols. The tactical parameters instantly explode as their laboratory and structural warfare turns completely active, transforming the underground bunker into a volatile psychological pressure cooker and a physical battle zone. Our veteran survivalist researchers are forced to deploy their massive intuitive tradecraft, environmental mapping skills, and raw intellectual stamina to maintain their perimeters against an enemy that grows stronger from the very tools used to destroy it. When a technical system glitch compromises a primary air filtration seal and triggers the bunker's automatic 5-minute atomic self-destruct countermeasure, their survival instincts engage their final deployment tracks. Every midnight computer terminal audit, every silent choice to test hazardous microenvironments behind standard safety protocols, and every intense moment of parsing mathematical growth curves chips away at their reliance on original defensive rules. What follows is an exceptional, high-stakes war of perspective, tactical position, and raw human grit. We watch the scientific empire's deceptive perimeters completely unwrapped as Crichton reveals that the true victory requires more than just synthesizing a vaccine or isolating a microbe. It demands an absolute, uncompromising defense of logic and human reasoning against an indifferent, unyielding cosmic variable. While our central collective smooths over each other's psychological and defensive blind spots with devastating analytical force, a brutal series of containment breaches and high-stakes terminal trials shifts the clock into its final phase, proving that the microscopic hazard has tracked their movement to the final outpost.
To survive the impending locked grid trap and permanently secure the planet's future, our resilient scientists must unleash an absolute, unyielding defense of their final boundary lines. It is a hard science fiction, technothriller, epidemiological crisis drama, high-velocity biosafety suspense masterpiece that treats deep biochemical logistics and intense intellectual friction with elite precision. The tension here burns with a sharp, calculation-heavy intensity. We are talking about that high-frequency, one microscopic seal breach liquefies the entire facility energy, where a sudden pause in an automated decontamination airlock, an unexpected shift in your partner's physical posture during a critical laboratory analysis, or a heavy, possessive realization that the alien virus has completely mapped your facility's structural vulnerabilities carries massive structural weight. Crichton writes with an exceptionally fresh, vivid, and beautifully blunt voice, perfectly capturing the cold electronic hum of mainframe computers, the oppressive, heavy atmosphere of a pressurized cleanroom suit, and the distinct, subtle scent of burnt ozone, liquid nitrogen, chemical sterilizers, cold stainless steel, and pure, unadulterated suspense. What truly elevates this science thriller into elite territory is the author's unmatched ability to balance realistic government crisis contingency blueprints and genuine high-stakes clinical tradecraft alongside a breathtaking narrative pace and deep conceptual hooks. Our protagonist group doesn't rely on unbelievable, superficial Hollywood superhero action tropes. Their immense situational intelligence, strategic patience, and profound academic instincts match the complexity of the chaotic scientific underworld they dominate step for step, making their choices to risk everything feel profoundly authentic and deeply gripping. The pacing moves with calculated momentum, tracking intense conversational standoffs and breathtaking personal breakthroughs before ratcheting up to an absolute jaw-dropping conclusion that delivers total hard-earned advancement to their horizon. The ANDROMEDA Strain is the definitive pro-level upgrade your high-stakes science fiction and dark technical suspense library demands right now. It is elegant, immensely fast-paced, and utterly unputdownable. It proves that when your entire sanctuary is targeted by a cold, calculating biological monster, the most revolutionary play you can execute is to lock your perimeters, trust your empirical data, and fight like hell alongside your allies to rewrite the data. So, secure your personal reading sanctuary, review your emotional defensive perimeters, open your Kindle, and prepare to track wildfire.